So now what we want to do is we want to show 6 samples, and for that we'll first of all try it here. df.sample we'll say 6. So 6 random sample will be displayed like that here. And now what we want to do is we want to store it in a list, and each entry will be in the form of dictionary. So how can we do that? Let us figure out. So we'll create a list comprehension. First of all, let me store it into a variable. We'll call it something equals to okay. Now we'll say for okay, for we'll say what we'll say is entry dot ilog I for I in not entry, but we'll say it something will accessing this variable, and we are range 6. We have 6 samples, so it will be like this. Okay, so now we have to convert it into a dictionary, so we'll say it like this, dictionary. Okay, so now it is looking pretty good and awesome. We can copy it from here. Oops, we can copy it from here and simply store it in a, again we can say random 6 is equals to, and paste it here. Now we have to change this variable to random 6, and another thing that we can say here, we can specify n here. Now we'll say n here and n here also. So whenever we want to change the number of books that we want to display on our index page, we just have to change this variable. So this is saved now, and we can pass it also here. We'll say books is equals to this variable, which is random 6. And now our logic is set. Let me move on to this part, and here we'll say we'll create a for loop. So this is a Jinja template that we have in Flask. So in the HTML itself we can write Python like code. So like we can write for loops. So for book in books, which is this book is referring to this variable that we are passing, and the value of this book is this list. So we can access this list like that. And we also have to end this for loop. We have to specify where this for loop is ending, and for, so we'll say it like this, and in this variable. So let me show you one thing, it is very cool. So let me cut it from here, and everything is looking fine. Let me format this document also. Okay, now indentation is correct. Now we can say in the card title, we can say we can access the variable by saying double curly braces here, and in that we can write book. We are accessing this, and we are currently, see, we are in a for loop. So we can say book, and which is the title. And now we can, let me show you Python. We have to cd into our app, and then we'll say Python main.py. Okay, so now our app is running. Okay, let's open and see. Okay, we can see it here. Card subtitle. Nothing is there. Why is something? Something is wrong. What's wrong? What is wrong here? Let me see what's the scraper of the title. Everything is looking fine. So one thing what we can do here is just print this random 6, and see whether it is working fine or not. Definition home print random. Okay. Refresh this. And now it is printed. Okay, it is looking fine. Book title. Okay, so the argument is book title. You are saying title, so it is not title but book title. Book underscore title. So now we can refresh it and we can see here. We have book titles here like this. Obviously, we'll format it in a good way. Now let me copy this here. And in the card subtitle, in place of card subtitle, we'll say author. We'll say author. And this portion is not needed, so we'll remove it. And in the place of card link, we'll say ratings, and here we'll put the genre of the book. So we'll say genre, and here we'll see ratings, I guess, or rating. Let's check. Okay, so it is looking correct. So let's format this in a good way. So now what we can say, we have to style it. So why not store it in a div.row. Div.row, in this row we'll save it. Let's copy all of this. Together with this for loop, we paste it here. Okay, and move this heading above this. Everything should be fine now. Okay, now we can give some padding also. Padding 4. This is a class which we can use for padding. Padding 4, and let's also give margin of 4. Okay, so now it is looking, padding is actually not needed in this case. Okay, fine, so we can work with it. So it is looking fine. Now what we have to do, we have to create this title as a link. So whenever we click, so let's suppose we click on the Iliad, so it should point us towards the next page where this the title, the Iliad is present and some other book is recommended. So let's say if the genre of this book is classic, so the recommended book should be from the classic genre and the top rated book. So that's what our recommender system is doing, and let's see how we can implement it by, where is our app? This is our app, and we can do it by saying like, we'll create another function here, another route. So we'll say app.route. Let me copy all of this, and paste it here. Here we'll say output function name, let's also say it output. Let me remove this logic from here, and we'll render a template named output.html, removing this. So now everything is looking fine. Now what we want to do is okay, let's create some logic. First of all, we have to create this book title as a link. So we have to wrap it inside a link, which is, let's copy it from here, copy and paste. So we'll not give it a class or something, we'll just say, let's cut it from here and paste it here. So now it is a link. Let's check this again. Okay, so everything is a clickable link. These should not be the links. So we'll convert them into something else. We'll say span rather than saying it a span. Let's change this also to span. We also have to change them as span. Okay, so now let's again check this. So see, every time this list is changing because we are saying we are randomly selecting 6 values from the data frame. Rather, we can say 9 here also. That will give us 9 entries. So now what we want to do is we want to make this a clickable link. For that we'll say we have to create a logic by saying so for redirecting it to some other page, we have to make it a clickable link. So we'll say here we want to redirect it to the output function that we have created. So we'll say URL for, and we'll give the function name URL no output. This is the name of the function that we have given, which is this output. Okay, so now we are clear, and we don't only we not only want to redirect it to that URL, but also we want to pass whichever book we are clicking. We have to pass that data also to show on that page. So for that, for passing the particular book data, we have to say book title is equals to, first of all, let's keep eye on what we are doing. So we'll say book and book title, and now I'll explain what I did here. So now what I'm saying is we are redirecting whenever we click this link, so it will redirect to this output function, and the parameter through that function will be book title, whose value is book and book title. So because this is in a for loop, we can see if I click here, the value of the book dot this key will be book title will be the Canterbury Tales. So this book title will be the Canterbury Tales. How we are using it? We are simply going to say here, we are going to say it here book title, and we'll also say pass the argument of book title. That's what we are going to do. And now we can access it inside here. We have a data frame, so now we can simply store by accessing the data frame by the book title. We can get the output. So we can say we'll store it in a book variable, and we'll say df dot, or rather we'll say where df dot, what is the, oops, let me open this, and what is the book title. Okay, so where book title is equals to book title. So we are accessing the data frame by saying where the book title is equals to this argument, and whichever argument that we have passed here. And how are we passing it? By referencing this variable. So this book title is referring to this parameter here. Okay, so now we can okay, so the similar problem, this will be a data frame, so we have to convert it into a series, and now convert it into a back to dictionary. Okay, so now it is looking good, and we can say, first of all, now we have to create a new HTML document which will be named output.html. Save it here and let's open it, and we'll similarly to this, we'll say we'll copy all of the code from here, copy, and we'll paste it here. We will just remove this for loop, and I'll show you some, and all of this logic will be same. Rather, I'll change the name so that it will be clear. Result. So the result will be result is equals to result. So that's, we are passing a variable result and whose value is result, which is referring to this variable. So now we have to change all of these book with the variable name result. Okay, everything is looking fine for me now. Let's remove this also. Let's try to run it. We have not saved this file. Okay, so now everything is good to go. Let's check this if it is working. Refresh it. Okay, random samples. Okay, now we can click. Book is undefined. Where? Output result is equals to result. Where is book? Where is book? Output.html, and where we are seeing book.html. Okay, we forgot to remove this one. Let's replace it with, here we don't want to create a link, so let's remove it. This also, it will simply be a single book. Now let's refresh it and run it again. Now we can see it here. Now we have a single book, and now what we want to do is we want to pass a recommended book. For that there is a simple method for which we have defined in our utils.py. So first of all we have to import that function from utils.py. So we'll say from utils import recommender. Why is it not utils? Utils, where are you, utils? It is inside the app, so why is it not importing? Utils.py. From utils import recommender. We'll say it like this, and we'll try to, first of all let's try to put the logic in place, and then we'll check what's the issue. So now we can say recommended book is equals to this recommender function, and we'll pass the genre here. So what is the genre? Genre is result genre. So that's it, I guess. So what this recommender is returning, it must be a dictionary. Okay, it is returning a dictionary, so we can directly pass it here like this. We'll say recommended book is equals to recommended book. That's it, I guess. Now we'll pass it. We'll create another card, copy, and we'll say recommended book card. So this is the comment that I added to separate these cards. So here we have to change this variable also. We are passing it by saying recommended book. So that's it, I guess. Everything is correctly placed in its place. Okay, so now let's click this, and the name df is not defined. Okay, where is the df? Df is not defined, not defined. Where this issue is coming from? Df genres, sort values. Okay, 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 okay. Hmm. Top is equals to df. Okay, now we have to make some changes into our df. So we'll pass here df also. We are passing data frame. So now we'll say in the main.py will pass the data frame also. So where is the data frame? We'll pass df. Which is the df we are referring to? The df is here. So now it should work correctly. So now we'll try again. Refresh this. Click this. Okay. So we can see the genre is classics. So now we can see the collected tales of Agar. Rating is 4.34. Okay, let's try to click another one, history. So we know when we are clicking the genre of fiction, then it will return a fiction. From the recommended book will be from fiction and the top rated one. So that's a simple book recommender system. We can also style it with bootstrap and so many things. Let's try this. We can say we can create a separate container for these, or let's try headings for these. We'll see, let's try with h1, your book, and we can say rather put it in a different container. We'll cut it from here and we'll say div dot container, and we'll pass it here, and in this container we will say, paragraph, we'll say you may also like Amazon, you may also like Amazon, also says it like this, and we'll say the head class will be, let's say display 4. So let's see how it is looking now. Your we have to remove this one, and we have removed this one. Now it should look fine. We'll give it a class p, and the class will be class display 1. So now let's check it. Okay, it is looking fine. Let's divide this with also a hr, not in this one. Let's cut this and paste it here. Let's cut this and paste it here. Now I guess everything will look good. Okay, so now we can see this is the book we clicked, and this is you may also like. So that's what a recommender system looks like. Let's try some more of these. Okay, so this is our book, and you may also like this one from the fiction category. So that's our simple recommender system and the API that we created for it. And we can also style it, but that's beyond the scope of this series. Wonderful book recommender system, wonderful. It is looking wonderful. Besides, I have to make it a capital. Wonderful. Hmm. So now everything is looking pretty cool. We click on this book is there that we have selected, and a recommended book also.